Welcome to The Explainer. So today we're going to dig into a real classic, Mark Douglas's The Disciplined Trader. And we're going to uncover a pretty startling truth. Turns out the secret to winning in the markets, it isn't in your charts. It's all in your head. All right, so let's just jump right in with the big one, the question that pretty much haunts the entire financial world. I mean, year after year, with all this incredible technology and just endless information at our fingertips, why do the vast majority of traders still fail? What is going on?
Well, here's the thing. The answer isn't where most people are looking. Aspiring traders, they spend years and fortunes, by the way, searching for some kind of magic formula, like the perfect trading system or some secret indicator. They're all looking for an edge out there. But the real problem and the solution, it's somewhere else entirely.
And this is the secret that the pros, the successful traders, have all figured out. Success, it's not really about your system at all. It's about your mind. In fact, Mark Douglas argues that trading success is a staggering 80% psychology and only 20% methodology. Think about that for a second.
So this brings us to our first big idea, the 80-20 trading secret. And believe me, understanding this rule, it's a fundamental shift in perspective. It's really what separates the winners from the losers. Just think about what this really means. You could have a totally mediocre system, right? But if you combine it with rock-solid psychological control, you can actually make money. But on the flip side, the greatest, most sophisticated system in the world, it's completely worthless if it's being run by a trader who's just ruled by fear and has zero discipline. Okay, so if psychology is the key, then why do so many smart, successful people fail so badly at trading? I mean, it doesn't make sense, right? Well, the answer is absolutely fascinating. It turns out our brains, they're just wired for the wrong environment.
Think about it. From the time we're kids, we're trained to operate in a structured world. School, our careers, even our social lives, they all have rules, right? There are clear paths to success, and there are bosses or teachers who reward or punish us. All those beliefs and habits, they make you a winner out there in the real world. But in the trading arena, they're pure poison. Just look at the contrast between these two worlds. Society is structured, it's mostly predictable. But the market? It's like this unstructured, chaotic river that's always moving. In society, the rules are given to you. In the market, guess what? You have to make your own. And here's the big one. In society, your reward is usually linked to your effort. You work hard, you get promoted. In the market, that link just doesn't exist.
So what this all means is that trying to control or predict the market using the same mental tools that make you successful at your 9-to-5, it's a complete recipe for disaster. The market, it just doesn't care about your hard work or your good intentions. You literally cannot force it to do anything. Okay, so now let's dig a little deeper into the unique nature of this trading arena, because it's an environment that is, frankly, uniquely hostile to the unprepared human mind. There are no rules.
The market has all these characteristics that just directly challenge how our minds work. I mean, it's a game where every single trade has unlimited potential for loss. And unlike a race, it never ends. There's no finish line. It only stops when you decide to get out. And maybe most importantly, the market is always right. You can be wrong. All of this combined, it leads to a really dangerous condition that's pretty much unique to trading.
And Douglas has a name for this. He calls it being a passive loser. And just think about that for a second. If you're at a casino, the poker hand ends, right? Your loss is defined. It's over. But in trading, a losing position can just bleed you dry. If you freeze up and do nothing, you have to actively step in and stop the pain, which, believe me, is something our brains absolutely hate to do. So what this all comes down to is that the market, it just becomes a perfect mirror of your attitude. If you're fearful, you're going to see threats everywhere you look. If you're greedy, you're going to see unrealistic opportunities that aren't really there. You're not seeing the market as it is. You're seeing the market as you are. And that brings us to the real opponent in this game. And listen, it's not the hedge funds. It's not the fancy algorithms. It's not even the other traders. The real battle is with the enemy inside your own mind. You see, most traders, they get trapped in this really destructive loop. It all starts with these unrealistic expectations of making easy money. Of course, that inevitably leads to a painful loss, which causes some real psychological damage. And that damage, it creates fear. And that fear leads to terrible, hesitant decisions, which, surprise, surprise, cause another painful loss. And the cycle just keeps repeating. So to protect you from all this pain, your mind starts to do something crazy. It starts to lie to you. Douglas calls this perceptual distortion. What this means is you literally stop seeing market signals that contradict what you want to believe. You only see the information that confirms your trade because you're desperately trying to avoid the pain of admitting you were wrong.
And these are the enemy's favorite tactics. That nagging need to be right, the paralyzing fear of losing money, that impulsive fear of missing out, or FOMO. Revenge trading, where you try to get back at the market. All of these emotional reactions, they are the true source of pretty much every single trading mistake you can make.
And this right here, this is the central paradox of trading. It's so important. Your desperate attempt to avoid a small, totally manageable loss, that is the very thing that causes you to distort reality, hold on way too long, and ultimately create the absolute catastrophe you were trying to prevent in the first place. All right, so how in the world do you break this cycle? How do you win this internal battle? Well, the book argues it requires a complete, and I mean complete, rewiring of your mindset. This is the path to becoming a disciplined trader. The whole journey forward begins with accepting one simple, powerful truth. You cannot control the market. Not one bit. The only thing you have absolute 100% power over is yourself. That means your perceptions, your rules, and your actions.
And let's be clear about what self-discipline means in trading. It's not about gritting your teeth and using willpower to force yourself to suffer. Not at all. It's about consciously creating a mental framework, your own set of rules that are designed to work in this crazy, chaotic environment. And then, and this is the hard part, trusting yourself enough to actually follow them.
So here's the blueprint for success. Step 1. Take 100% responsibility for your results. No more blaming the market. Step 2. Create a structured set of rules for yourself. Step 3. Learn to take a loss without all the emotional drama. Practice it until it's just neutral. Step 4. Develop the mental flexibility to flow with the market, not fight it. And finally, focus on developing your skills, not on chasing the money. The money, that's just a byproduct of doing everything else right. So we're going to leave you with one final provocative question that really gets to the heart of this whole transformation. Ask yourself this. Are you trying to be right, or are you trying to make money? Because in the market, those two things are often in direct conflict. And the disciplined trader, they always know which one to choose.